Please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
This is absurd.
Sign this too.
I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
You're not big on trust, are you?
You can trust me.
Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
Why never do it again?
Hello, one and all, social media lands and subsequent social media lands and YouTubers. Welcome to an all-new video. So this video, we're going to be reviewing the first season of the great, awesome new Marvel series that just finished up its first season run on Disney Plus the other day, called, of course, Loki. So we're going to get right into that Season 1 review. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content and want to check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, where I post cool content as well. So definitely check that out too, people. And as always, let's get right into this. Welcome one and all to this all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're going to be doing a Season 1 review of the all-new Marvel TV series, Loki. That's right, Loki. Oh yeah. Mr. Tom Hiddleston. Oh yes. Oh yes. Tom Hiddleston. Woo! So of course, this awesome TV series is based off of the character that we got our first look at, of course, in Thor back in 2011, and is been beautifully played by Mr. Tom Hiddleston many, many years now, and it just was a really well done series, and there was just so much fun to it. I mean, the graphics, the writing, the direction it took was all so great and super awesome, and just made a really well-rounded first season. Now, this happened to be directed, all 6 episodes were directed by a lady that goes by the name of Kate Herron. Oh yeah, Kate Herron. Oh yeah, or Herron. I think that's probably the proper pronunciation, Herron. But anyways, Kate Herron actually really hasn't directed much else. She has no actual films that she's actually directed. She's directed a few different shorts, but this is actually her first biggest and longest stint as a director that she has done, actually. She's done all 6 of these episodes. She's actually done a few other TV series, but nothing else of really big performance-wise and stuff like that. Like, nothing super big like this, a Disney Plus series. And I thought that she did a really good job of directing the episode. She gave us really good direction in each episode. She gave us really great acting by all the actors. And I thought that she did a good job of having a good balance pretty much through each episode, except for a couple. Really great action sequences, really great humor, and just a really well-rounded episodes altogether. I thought she did a really decent job for, being not a like a big-time director. So I was really impressed with the performance that she did. And I thought that she did a pretty decent job. But if you know nothing about Kate Herron, I would definitely go check out her IMDb page and her Wikipedia, where you can find information about some of the different shorts that she's actually done and other TV shows that she has directed a few episodes. And check those out and see how you think they compare to Loki Season 1, because I think from what I've seen of the other episodes when I did my research, I didn't think that those were as good as what she did with these. I think she did a lot more, and I think she's really grown as a filmmaker in this process. So definitely a decent director, and she really brought a great, direction out of these episodes in this first season of Loki. So this show, of course, had a really amazing cast, and we had a lot of great people that joined the cast and were really great first impressions of these characters that we have not seen in a live-action performance yet, that we've grown to know either if we did read the comic books or if we didn't. We knew a little bit of history about these characters, because they've talked about them, prior to the show coming out. But even if you were a fan of the actual comic book characters, I think that these people did all a pretty decent job of bringing those characters to life. Now, to start us off, of course, is Loki himself, Mr. Tom Hiddleston. Oh yeah, Tom Hiddleston, woo! I love Tom Hiddleston. He is so awesome and amazing and just so much fun. Everything he's in, I always enjoy. I think he's fantastic. He's awesome, and he's really fun to watch in interviews and so forth. But like such things that he's actually done, like he did this miniseries called The Night Watchman, which was, or Night Manager, I should say, which was a really pretty decent series. And he was so awesome in that. It was so different from his Loki character, and it was a very more professional, like, businessman type of character, so that was really different. But a couple things I really enjoyed him in are as followed. Now, the first film is a great, amazing film that's a part of the MonsterVerse that Warner Brothers has brought to life for us in recent years, and he just was really amazing in this film. And that, of course, is a film called Kong Skull Island. Oh yeah, Kong Skull Island. Ooh. This is such an amazing, awesome movie, and our first great live-action slash reboot slash remake slash another extension in the MonsterVerse since the beginning of King Kong in 1933, King Kong film, where we really get a younger perspective on King Kong himself. And Tom Hiddleston was just so awesome in this film. I loved him as the tracker guide character. He had a great, spirit about him. He had a great tone, and I just liked his interactions with everyone that he had to deal with. I mean, from Brie Larson to Samuel Jackson's character and so forth. And I just thought he worked really well with everyone and gave a really solid performance in this film. If you haven't seen Kong Skull Island, definitely give it a whirl, people. Tom is amazing in it. Now that brings me to the second film that he was in that I really enjoyed him in. And that is a great supernatural horror film that came out in 2013, I believe it was, 2014, that has Mia Wasikowska in it. And just a great ensemble cast, and is directed by Guillermo del Toro. And then, of course, a film called Crimson Peak. Oh yeah, Crimson Peak. Ooh. Crimson Peak is just a really great horror film that Guillermo brought to life for us, and Tom Hiddleston is so amazing in this film. I really enjoyed the performance he gave us. I really enjoyed the direction his character went in, and I loved his relationship he had with all the different characters in the film. And I just loved that he brought that great Victorian era characterization to the character, because it's supposed to be I believe in the 1700s, I believe. If I'm incorrect, I'm sorry, but I know it's supposed to be turn of the century type of deal, or it's either 17 or 1800s, either one of those. It could have been even the early 1900s. But I remember that it was a very Victorian age looking type of landscape that the film took place in, and I just thought Tom did a great job of portraying a person that would be from that time period, and he just brought it with effortless ease and just was really good at it. I really enjoyed his performance in it. If you haven't seen Crimson Peak, definitely give it a whirl, people. It's a really great horror, supernatural film that Guillermo del Toro brought to us, and it's just a really fun film, and Tom was really amazing in the film. Now, when it comes to him portraying Loki again, it was so beautiful and awesome to see him portray this character again. He's been doing it for over 10 years now, and he just is so awesome to the character, and I love the evolution that he's brought to the character. And even in interviews, he himself has said that he had a really great time giving an evolution to Loki in this TV series. And you could see that throughout the whole entire series, how different he was from the character we saw at the beginning of Infinity War, being killed, unfortunately, to his character when we first saw him in Thor, and how his character has changed throughout that time. And even with the progression in the very first 2 episodes of Loki, you have to see him see his own death. You have to see the different person he became and how he evolved from that character even more to the character he was in the Loki TV series. He just did a magnificent job with the character, and it was really enjoyable and really fun. So that brings me to the second actor that was in this show that was just a really interesting and new person to check out in this TV series. And that, of course, is none other than Lady Loki herself, aka Sylvia, Miss Sophia DiMartino. Oh yeah, Sophia, yeah! So Sophia DiMartino plays Lady Loki, aka Sylvia, which is basically a combination of Lady Loki from the comic books, Sylvia from the comic books, and just kind of mixing them together as one character into the TV series. So if you've already watched the series or you haven't watched the series, you're gonna be in for a treat. You're gonna be in for a surprise, but at the same time, you're gonna be like, okay, they're not going just one direction with this character. It was a combination of both characters and taking their storylines and kind of combining them is how they did it with Sophia's character. And it was a really interesting take on it because if you're very familiar with Lady Loki or you're familiar with the Sylvia line, both those two storylines are so interesting and fascinating and fun, and seeing them combine them together was actually really smart and really fun. Now, Sophia, I thought she did a decent job. I didn't think she was the greatest actress at all. I thought she was pretty, even keel, monotone through the whole series, but she did a decent job and was enjoyable in the TV series. Now, Sophia DiMartino, actually, there's only one movie I've actually seen her in, and I absolutely thought this movie was really great, and I totally forgot she was in it because I didn't even realize who she was until I did some research on this after seeing her in Loki. And I forgot that she played kind of a small, minor role in this film. And that happens to be a film called Yesterday. Oh yeah, Yesterday. Where it's about the main character being the only person to remember who the Beatles are. And Sophia actually plays like a friend character in the film that pops up throughout the movie. And I thought she did a pretty decent job in that. It was definitely different than her character of Sylvia, aka Lady Loki, in the TV series Loki. But I thought that she did a pretty decent job in that film, and she made a great addition to that film. If you haven't seen Yesterday, definitely give it a whirl, people. It's a really fun film, kind of a rom-com comedy, kind of dramedy. That's really fun and lots of great music in it. But getting back to Sophia, like I said, I thought she was pretty even killed throughout the whole series. I didn't think she was the greatest. I didn't care fully for her throughout the whole entire series. But I did think that she did have a great element in giving us a great first direction of this character on the big screen or, in a live action format versus the comic books. And I thought that she did a, even kill job that wasn't too bad and was pretty good, decent, and opposite of great Tom Hiddleston's Loki. Hands down, not too bad of a shabby of a role, and she was pretty decent. So I'll be looking forward to seeing her and other things in the future. So that brings me to the final person I'll be talking about that was in this film. And this is another actor who, once again, pretty much every film they're in is exactly the same character, but he did such an amazing job in this series. I really enjoyed him in it, and I thought he did a decent job of bringing his character to life. And that, of course, is Mr. Owen Wilson. Oh, yeah. Owen Wilson. Woo! Owen Wilson. So, of course, you might recognize Owen Wilson from Wedding Crashers. You might recognize him from Armageddon. You might recognize him from a slew of films of the years. But he has been in a couple films that I really enjoyed and thought he was his best performances in. Now, the first one happens to be a film that I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun film. It had a great ensemble cast of Robin Williams, Ben Stiller, Dick Van Dyke, Mickey Rooney, Walter Cobb. I mean, just a really awesome cast and directed by Sean Levy. And then, of course, a film called Night at the Museum. Oh, yeah. Night at the Museum. Absolutely loved Owen Wilson in this film as, the little cowboy guy that, kind of becomes Ben Stiller's friend in the film. And he doesn't like to be called tiny and stuff like that. And, he feels he's being manhandled. And he's just absolutely freaking hilarious as that character, as Jedediah. And his relationship between him and Octavius is super hilarious. And just his camaraderie and his lines are just on point hilarious in this film. And I just absolutely loved him, the character of this, of Jed. And he's just really awesome. If you haven't seen Night in the Museum, definitely check it out, people. He was amazing in the film. So the second film that Owen Wilson was in that I really enjoyed him in is a great 2000 film that stars Jackie Chan and is a instant classic that was so much fun to watch and when I got to see it in theaters 21 years ago. And then, of course, the film called Shanghai Noon. Oh yeah, Shanghai Noon. Wow. Oh my god, this movie is absolutely awesome. If you like the Rush Hour films, this was basically the Rush Hour films with a white guy versus a black guy, basically, to me. And Shanghai Noon is so freaking hilarious. It's supposed to be during the West time, and Owen Wilson plays this cowboy character that ends up on a quest with, Jackie Chan's character, and they have to basically save, the Empress from being sold or being killed or whatever was going to happen to her. And Owen Wilson playing the character he plays was super hilarious. I loved especially the Chinese drinking game scene where they're in the bathtub doing it. It's absolutely freaking hilarious. And some of the one-liners that Owen had in that film were just on point perfection. If you haven't seen Shanghai Noon, definitely check it out. Owen Wilson was amazing in it. But it comes to playing his character, Mr. Mobius E. Mobius, in Loki. Like I said, he did a really good job of playing this character. I really enjoyed his character. I enjoyed the presentation, the level, the, characterization he brought to giving us our first live performance of Mobius E. Mobius that, we haven't seen on the big screen or on the little screen in a live action form yet. And he just did a really great job of bringing us to life, that character, but at the same time giving us a really great rendition of it and bringing a little bit of his own self into it, even though he didn't go, wow, in the show, which a lot of people were sad that they didn't get that, but at the same time, I was really shocked. I wasn't too sure how he was going to do in the role, and he really surprised me and gave a really good presentation. If you like Owen Wilson, definitely check out Loki for his performance. He was actually really decent in it. So if you're not familiar with what the first season of Loki is about, basically we grab Loki at the very end of the film Endgame, where he takes the Tesseract where he's not supposed to, and we end up going all of a sudden to the TVA, where he gets apprehended with the Tesseract and is basically put into arrest. And then basically the rest of the series is about him kind of helping the TVA out, trying to get this other variant, which is what Loki is himself, and trying to save the sacred timeline from being eschewed, basically. And that's pretty much what the series is about. It's a really fantastic series. If you haven't watched the first season yet, if you haven't watched any of the episodes, definitely go check them out now on Disney+. They're worth the watch. The first season was amazing, immaculate, really well done. The best Disney Plus series to date. It's better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's better than WandaVision. This is definitely hand down the best one and is so much fun and enjoyable. And I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a really good job with it. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out now, people. Season 1 really rocked. So that's it for this Season 1 review of Loki, folks. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been here before, don't forget to check out any of my older or newer videos you might not have seen mine yet. As always, people, check out the awesome links down below. If you want to show guys some support, definitely check out my Patreon page where I add up bloopers, outtakes, and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So definitely check that out too, people. And also, if you're a huge horror fan, definitely check out the Horror Pack link where you can get great horror films right to your door every month for a great low price. So definitely check that out too, people. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.